For instance, I looked at the reporting of the banking crisis. Certainly in the press, it tended to be reduced down to a kind of simple morality tale. These are bad bankers, and essentially we just need to kind of cut off their bonuses. But, the system itself is what we're stuck with. This is the capitalist system. The banks have to remain essentially in private ownership. And that's really as far as the kind of discourse in the press went. Interestingly, when we looked at the Today programme, that was very, very much dominated by the banking community. So certainly in the period around the kind of bank bailouts, the overwhelming majority of sources came from kind of the city. So there were things like stockbrokers, hedge fund managers and analysts and city analysts. And these people are not the people who are essentially going to be arguing for stricter reforms, greater control of the shadow banking system, restrictions on the kind of trading of certain kinds of derivative products. But essentially, you also got a lot of argument there on the Today programme about why we didn't need to regulate and why essentially the city was a key part of the economy. But because you had a very restricted range of sources, you tended to get a very, very restrictive debate, particularly in broadcasting, which focused very, very much on the attitudes and the opinions of the people in the city. So the kind of really strong reforms that some people were arguing for in terms of greater regulation, we just didn't find in BBC reporting. And then when you talk to ordinary members of the public, what you find is that a reproduction of that spectrum of opinion.
Because they're parroting what they've already heard, because they think that media is safe and therefore they can replicate those opinions. Media
works by repetition, by the repetition of certain themes and arguments and discourses over a long period of time. And when you looked at the press over this period from around 2003, 2004 up until the crisis, there were the themes of labour overspending, of employing too many people in the public sector, of people coming here from other countries through asylum or immigration, and then actually defrauding the system. These were repeated again and again and again, hundreds of times a year. A lot of people, in the public don't have a very good understanding of the public spending pot and where different areas go. And when you ask them where the deficit came from, a lot of people would say things like, oh, it came from immigrants coming over here and going on benefits, or it came from, labour overspending. So because the level of public understanding is low, and because people have often been exposed to certain kind of arguments again and again, people often pick up on the things they've heard in the media.